No one saw that. Okay, and here we are. Hello everyone, my name is Ryas, and today I'll be doing a stream about space engineers. Let's go take a look. Switch over to space engineers, and here we are. And let's go to, let's get myself up, and here I am. I'm not quite sure how good the audio quality is. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm getting some echo on my side. It's got a little bit of technical issues. Just give me a quick moment. Ah, yes, I'm hearing my stream twice. So I just need to mute that. But it is good that I can hear myself otherwise. All right, let's see. Where are we now? OBS back on. That's good. Actually, no, I don't want the OBS off. I'll keep up the stream chat, and I can see what people are saying. That'll be nice. Okay then, so we will begin. So we've got so many ideas. In fact, just let me sort out that streaming sign there. Stream starting soon. Don't need that. Let's add in the stream plan. There we go. Let's put that up in the corner. Now, if someone joins, then they'll know what's going on. Then, without further ado, I will begin. So, I've been building a PvE Wave Defence in Space Engineers, and I released that last week, and this week I have done two major things. First is I've added a new ship to the attack waves, and it is this, the Aegis Destroyer. It features 4 assault cannon turrets, each with a welder, designed to primarily focus as a kind of a tank or a shield, so that when the enemy target it, their turrets will first shoot these heavily armored assault turrets, which will be difficult to destroy with the welder at the back. And while they are busy shooting the assault cannon turrets, the custom turrets at the back, and these are very, very fragile, but of course they have a lot of firepower. So these will be protected by the turrets at the front, distracting enemy fire, while these bring out the real DPS. The ship itself has decent flight characteristics. It does have a frontal glacis of heavy armor in the front, although it does have small hydrogen tanks spread out throughout its entire length on the inside, which does make it a little bit vulnerable no matter where you shoot it, because once you get through the sides, it'll quickly start exploding from the inside. In terms of the control systems, this does have a cockpit, unlike many of my ships. As you can see here, we have just a very, very basic area with a cockpit and the usual internals. And unlike a lot of ships, I've given this one some accessibility and repairability as well. You can walk around the inside just a little bit. So as you can see here, I've got 5 of these Aegis ships set up and assigned to an enemy faction. So next up, let's try and shoot them with some torpedoes, because the second thing I've done this week is I've released a tutorial on how to build small grid torpedoes, and as well as putting up an example set of torpedo launchers. So as you can see here, we've got some welders on the piston, so those will go down and they will build the projected torpedoes. So we'll go take a look at that now, see that in progress. Chung, 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 chung. And there they go. So if you want to learn how to build one of these torpedoes, I've got a step-by-step instruction on my YouTube channel you can check out. And as for this array itself, this is part of the weapon grid blueprint, which I'm going to be putting out later, which contains custom turrets, torpedo launchers, and all sorts of fun stuff. So now that these are built, we will launch them, and they will go and attack the Aegis fleet, and we'll get to see their AA guns in action. Should be very, very nice. And launch. Hopefully this all works out okay. Let's see if I can get... Yeah, I got my initial dampeners on the first torpedo. Always like that because it makes it really cinematic when you're coming in. You can see all the torpedoes coming in from behind. Should be entering weapon range soon. And there comes the AA fire. A lot of torpedoes coming on the first ship here. Ripping through its front armor, it seems. Some have changed target. They've drifted off. They should be returning in about 5 seconds or so. At least I hope they do. Don't know where those guys are going. They completely disappeared. But in case, we can take a quick look and see what the damage from our first wave is. As you can see, it's completely peeled off the entire of the front glasses there. And it's destroyed this left turret and the right turret across there. The other ships are largely intact, which is unusual. Usually at least 1 or 2 ships get destroyed by the initial volley. We'll try launching a second volley and then see how that works out. Let's teleport myself over here quickly. I'll get the next wave ready. Usually takes these about 20 seconds to build the torpedoes, although this is currently running on creative mode. So if you wanted to use ×1 welding speed on survival, it would probably take about 2 or 3 minutes to slowly drag the welders up through the projections. I mean, here we can build them very fast, but in survival it would take a lot longer. And we'll have to go launching wave 2. Focus and catch this, and I have. After a bit of lag during the launch, which makes it a little bit harder. Try and go for more of an overview side this time. Let's get rid of the overlay. I think that's about a good camera position. Get a bit closer so we can see the damage coming in. They're targeting the central cruiser now. It is inefficient making them go in waves of 4 because when one blows up, it often destroys the others. Man, they're really focused on that central cruiser. You can see all the bits flying out. And now the Aegis starts is cleaning up the remains, it seems. A lot of debris. So second wave report. I think this one took a hit. One of the other ones did take a hit somewhere. It was looking unscathed. This on the hand is completely wrecked. Not even sure whether that's turret's operable or not. Should still have some magazines inside. Well, in creative it'll still shoot regardless. And the right turret there is still operating. Does it still have fuel and directional control? Let's check the engines. Still got rear thrust. I'm not sure about back thrust though. Because a lot of the back thrust on this was internalized. I'm not seeing any internal thrusters. In any case, we'll launch our next wave and see how that goes. The reason why they're firing out in waves of 4 torpedoes at a time is because I've just taken one launch system. I've just copy pasted it 4 times. But ideally they'd be shooting out in a staggered line. And even better would be shooting out in different directions, try to put more spacing between the torpedoes. And we can't launch these straight away because there's a slight delay, giving time for fuel to flow to the torpedoes. Not that they need it on creative though. There's the doors opening. I missed catching it for the inertial dampeners, just to fly in manually. Let's try getting the camera behind the ships a little bit. Weapons range in. Seeing quite a bit of lag here. The ship's now freely drifting. Seems to have lost hydrogen. I think this ship is quite definitely totaled. You can see even at the back it's had a huge chunk ripped out. It's lost both of its primary thrusters. We'll give them one more volley, I think, and we'll call it a day. Actually, we'll take a look at the ship over here. This has taken some quite beautiful damage as well. They've actually cut around the frontal glasses there. It's gone straight to the core, coming into the sides. The ship is just barely held together by a string with one armor block holding it in cohesion. And that, let's go take our final wave going. I said it'd be the Aegis Fleet versus 144 torpedoes. In this case, I'm going to give it a fourth wave, so we add an extra 24 into that. It's just not 144, it's 12, yeah, it's 48 times 3. Did I mess up my maths? I think I did. 128, 120 plus. Oh, I'll give you a moment. Anyway, let's get the building going. I'll get some math done. 120 and 4 times 4, 16. So it's 136 torpedoes, I think, actually. Yeah, it should be. I was kind of doing my maths in a quick panic before the stream. That thing up at left top, did that really quick. Okay, with those built, let's get our final wave going. I'm just going to turn off some of the projectors here to try and save on processing power. Let's see if I can catch one of these launches. There we go, got one. Those little stars of death coming in. Maybe it looks like they're going for the lower right ship. Completely ignoring that. Which is surprising, actually. Because it definitely has power systems for them to target. Just checking what's going on with my jetpack thrusters here. Just watching the silhouette of that ship getting exploded in the sun. That is now very much completely wrecked by the looks of it. A few more. Being shot off into space by an assault cannon hit. You can see all the wreckage and debris from the ship flying away. Very nice. I have to say I love the sound of the custom turret water cannons. It's quite wonderful. And that's all that remains. So we have 3 survivors, well, albeit badly damaged. This one's still in pretty good shape. It's only taken superficial damage to the frontal armor mainly. whereas the rest of these have lost a lot of their internal core systems. And that's it, I think. So I'll just delete these, so it'll save on a bit of processing power. And then we'll try setting up a fleet battle. I'm not sure really whether my computer can handle that, but we'll have to see what happens. What was it, lost three things? I'll delete this as well, just to save on the memory. So now we'll head over to the defense point. Where's the defense point? Where's the defense point? There. So we'll head over to where the actual game takes place. Go a little bit faster. There we are. So here's our defense base. And I want to go find... Oh, is this not broadcast? Oh, it's not broadcasting because my player character's not here. There we go, and I can see the waypoint. So we have over here, of course, the REBF Fleet. Based on some player feedback, I've changed the color of the batteries to this sort of neon green to make them very, very easy to see. So these ones, they're always in the same place. Then when you get to these longer formations up here, I've had to extend it for the size of the ship. And so then it was a bit difficult for some players to find the battery, so I put it as this neon green, so it's easy to see. And I've added the Aegis Destroyer to the end of Wave 3, just as a solo ship at the moment. And so there it is. So if you subscribe to the REBF game and download that world save, you can come in, you can copy and blueprint it, or modify or play with it, take a look with it as you like. But now I'm going to head over to the defense base very quickly, and I'll see if I can spawn a battleship. It's going to be something of a performance test on my computer. So it's surprising how much you got running. You got the game, then you got the OBS streaming software, then you got the face tracking software, then you've also got the Twitch stream running as well. You need to check out and trap and stuff. Hello, sorry for bothering you. Want to offer promotion of your channel? Use chatbots, etc. Price lower than any competitor. Okay, it's just not advert spamming. I do have no soliciting as part of the rules. Let's leave that for now. I suppose I probably ought to ban that, but I'll ignore it for now. Let's see. What was I doing right? Dao Fortuna battle. And it just take quite a while to spawn in, because this is a very, very large ship. It actually weighs in at about 90,000 PCU. And here we have it. Let's go put it down in the sun so we get a nice view of it. Make sure it's on the right way. Looking for the frontal name. Doesn't seem to be popping up, which is unusual. I seem to remember that the turrets were at the top, if I remember correctly. Oh, there's one placing it there. It's too close to the base itself. And it's still not wanting me to spawn it. But will let me spawn it down there. Oh, there we go. It's finished loading the name so I can see which way is up. So place that in. Give it some time to load up. And there we have it. I'm losing some frames per second here, but sacrifices must be made. See, we have the Dao Fortuna, Latin for giver of luck, or bringer of fortune, if you will. There's two really nice things that we get out of this ship. First is, as you can see, with these amazing custom turrets here, which I really like. This thing's been on the Steam Workshop for a while. I really like this ship, so I really want to give it a go against the fleet. There's got some nice armoring there. It's a two-block custom turret. Has the advantage of having a very, very small profile, making it hard to hit, which is a very useful defensive quality. It does have very, very slight depression. You can see the way they form this is by getting the hinge up at the top there. And then if we just check at the very, very front, you can see there's almost no depression there, but it is actually possible for this to very, very slightly depress, but only really by a fraction of a degree. When I'm building my custom turrets, I prefer to give them a little bit of depression so that they can all concentrate on the frontal fire. I'll need to access the bridge of the ship. The ship's a little bit unusual because it doesn't have any of the standard doors. Instead, it has these kind of hanger wings that we can see here at the back. So if I remember, it has a button on the side. On this side, might be on the front. This really is fantastic. You can see how smooth that is. This is actually a subgrid. Just going to be opening up. What should be, I think it takes some time. Odd. Not sure why it's opening up. Ah, there we go. This is a bit of a delay. So here is the main hangar of the Dao Fortuna. And this is actually, I believe, the only way to get into the ship. So you can see you got the interiors for defense there. Got some fantastic internal workings. Cycle the airlock. I can turn off my thrusters because we've got some internal gravity here. Now I'll just fall down. So here we have a recreational area, the cantina. I'll push forward through for the moment. So I'm going to get myself over to the main lounge. I seem to remember I have to go up at this point to get to the upper level of the lounge. So I get access to the bridge. And bridge and CIC. Got the armory there. And here we have the main bridge of the Dao Fortuna. One very cool program. You can see at the very, very front, they have windows. When I first saw this, I thought, it's going to be quite the vulnerability because you can just get artillery piercing straight through that into your main cockpit. That could be a problem, but they've already got that sorted. Because you can use emergency mode, and it'll shut blast doors down the front. And since we are going to combat, I'll leave that on for the moment. I believe this red glow goes throughout the whole ship as well. So now I'm into our main cockpit. The ship has pretty good flight characteristics. Oh, I haven't closed the hangar doors. I'll definitely have to do that before we start the fight. But as you can see here, the turn rate is quite a crawl. You know, we're talking about degrees per second pretty much, which can be quite limited. But the main thing I want to do here is I want to go and find the custom turret controllers. Oh, these are on. I thought these were off by default last time I checked. I seem to remember that they didn't work before, so I'm just going to go check. All the rotor systems are actively on. And check the railguns as well. Maybe they updated the design. I was testing this before. The turrets didn't shoot, it seems now they are. You can see here the owner is nobody. Now to change that. So I have to take everything in here. And then I'm going to assign that to the friendly AFP faction, which is the enemy of the RBF. So that's that sorted. Let's check this as a defensive AI. It's got multiple defensive AIs. So that's that sorted. Another feature that this has, it also has a torpedo system. Just going to check again those. Hangar timer A. Oh, we can remotely control it from here, it seems. Missile load, missile firing sequence timer. That's looking good. Jump drives and the usual. Just trying to refamiliarize myself with this. Let's see if we can remotely close the hangar doors, and there we go. So we can just open and close those straight from the cockpit. And now I want to go into the observer mode so I can go, so we can take a look at the torpedo factories in action. So here we have the torpedo bay doors. I really like the torpedoes on this. Actually took a blueprint from them. Let's see if we can spawn that in real quick. Doesn't seem to be wanting to. Ah, it won't do it because I'm not in my player character. That's fine. We'll take a look and we can discuss that a bit later. For now, let's go take a look. As we can see, there's projection systems there. So I press 8. And we can see the cataphract torpedo in here. Two things I really like about this. First is they use an event block, which detects when the locked-on enemy ship is at or less than 150 meters, which is an alternative arming system for the warheads, and it costs less PCU. That's a nice efficiency. Although I believe it'll only trigger when it crosses the threshold, which means that if you launch these at a ship within 150 meters, which is quite a short range, but if you launch these at a ship within 150 meters, they won't be able to arm in time because they will technically not be crossing the threshold. The second sort of innovation that these torpedoes have is that they only have one rear thruster. They start with this on override, but on a very, very, very low override. And then as a command, they tell it to decrease the override speed, which puts it to 0, and then it turns back into a regular thruster. And so with that innovation, you don't need to have one override thruster and one flight thruster, because you can use both in the same role. The disadvantage is that the low override setting only gives a very little bit of force, so which works fine in space, but it's not really suitable for atmospheric flight. Although you could put the engine into multiple groups and then use multiple commands to increase and decrease the override. So you could do it that way. But in any case, we'll be able to see these launch and fight soon. I believe this ship is now ready for combat. Does this have an antenna? I believe it does. It's going to go check the range. In fact, it's got multiple antennas. I don't even know which one's working at the moment. So that's our primary antenna. Broadcast radius 5,000. That's not enough. REBF Fleet's 10 kilometers away. So I'll need a little bit more juice in order to be able to remotely activate them. Let's get Shift K. So now we've got our wave activation drone. And we'll control that. Now that we're at the drone, we're over at the REBF Fleet with our Dao Fortuna over there. Let's go and launch all these ships, and then we'll see how the Dao Fortuna fares against them. My game has really come down to a crawl. I suspect the stream may not survive. We'll have to see. I think the main issue is that my GPU will not be able to keep up. I may have to upgrade that later. But I can hear the Gatling guns shooting at a far slower pace than they usually do. This project may be a little bit too ambitious. In case the reason I'm shooting these batteries is because they will launch the attached ships, because the event blocks detect damage on these batteries. That should be all of stage 1 and 2 launching away. Now we'll just launch the stage 3 ships. I'd say the game is now running at about 50% speed. So the enemy fleet will be coming in now. Let's quit out of the drone controls. And the Dao Fortuna. Wait in. Once they come in, we'll have to lock on and also get the missiles to launch as well. If I point towards them, I should be able to get a lock on once they come into range. It usually takes them about a minute or two to arrive. Although with the current lag that's going on, I suspect it may take a little bit longer than 2 minutes. We'll have to see. Let's check if we've got a forward flight camera. And we do. So you can see the fleet coming in there. The large frigate on the side there. I'm not seeing the Aegis cruiser, not sure where that's gone. I think that's the Aegis cruiser there. The first things that will become a lock-onable target should be the fighters, which will be at the front. See some of the guns going off as they activate. Some of them will start to twist around, because as the collision avoidance turns on, they sometimes panic a bit. For that first target, I may actually not lock onto that one, and instead try to focus on one of the large ships, because I don't want to waste the shots from the large railguns. I believe this ship, because I started activating from right to left on the second stage. So this frigate should be the first thing that comes into primary lock-on range. Still 3 kilometers away. I suspect the fighters will get into... Something's exploding, something crashed. They're really struggling a bit with collision avoidance because there's so many ships around. I'll get the lock onto this frigate. There we go. We got some firepower going off already. See how this runs. I can get into observer mode. I can track some of the targets we're firing at. See, there's the assault cannons ripping into this guy. Got rockets coming in. Get some fire coming in from the base as well. He's getting shredded by fire. Though most of these shots are targeting that frigate in the rear. I haven't seen the larger railguns go off yet. I think it's because they're out of angle. So I'll return to the character and see if I can turn these. So I can get angle with the other large railgun turret. But it still doesn't seem to be engaging. Perhaps it's just tracking a lower target. A lot of assault cannon shells coming in the front. I may eventually turn to face, try and get a fresh armor facing. Check out the frontal armor. We lost one of the forward thrusters. But otherwise, the front seems to be holding up quite well, given the circumstances. Something in the distance is cracked. I think it's actually destroyed the frigate with its forward guns. So I'm going to break that lock. The ship moves very slowly, so it is very difficult to choose a lock-on target. I'm trying to think of what ship I want to lock onto. This seems one of the larger ones. Let's have a go on this guy next. I guess we ought to have ourselves some beautiful slow motion combat. I'm trying to switch to observer mode, but it's actually not letting me. Move like this for a moment. A lot of weaker shots coming in from the interceptor here. Yeah, this fight is pretty much done by the looks of it. I think in future I may have to launch less ships and perhaps use a smaller battleship in future so we can get things flowing properly. I think I definitely need to turn a new facing. Let's see, taking a lot of shots on the right, so I'm going to try turning this to face left for a while. Give a fresh armor facing, because I don't want those rockets getting too deep into the CIC. As you can see, the custom turret on the top is clearly not engaging. I'm not sure why. That's the dorsal railgun. On. Ah, is the AI not set up? Ah, it's on. I knew there was something on this side of it to check. Ah, enable AI. Lag and fishing is actually hard to choose the options. There we go. Let's get our first dorsal gun firing. And it fired a shot, but there's so many projectiles around. The projectile couldn't be loaded. You can see the left thing there is not operating. The port gun still seems in reasonably good condition. Which is it lost its primary gun? It has. So the dorsal is the only main cannon we got left anyway at this point. I'm going to turn this a little bit more. I want to make sure that the artillery cannons on the left side still have a decent enough ceiling. I'm going to break lock for a moment so the turrets can shoot freely. I'm taking a lot of shots to the left. I'm going to try and rotate and give them my upper side. You can also take the turrets on the right and give them more targeting opportunities as well. The upper dorsal turret doesn't seem to have much upwards elevation, so I do need to get facing on a horizontal target. I'll try presenting my right armor for a while. And then the turret should be able to shoot a target. So it might have been reloaded by now. Just take a minute to reload the large railgun. That should give it sufficient elevation to shoot if it's able. I'm seeing a lot of smoke across there. I'm quite surprised. The first time I did this battle, the Dao Fortuna won quite easily. I've actually forgotten to launch the missiles. It's probably the first thing I should have done. Let's give that a go now. They've already been destroyed. It's my mistake. I did try testing this 1 or 2 times before, and both times the Dao Fortuna won quite easily with the missile launchers. So I'm going to have to set up this battle again, so give the Dao Fortuna a proper go. Because for the beginning of the battle, it didn't have its main cannons ready with the railguns. And I was so distracted by that I forgot to launch the torpedoes in the end, because I was too focused on the targeting. In case the interceptor, the large grid interceptor there, is cracked in half. The heavy fighter still seems to be fighting away fine. Seems to be a dead drifting fighter up there as well. Wonder if I can't give this guy something to lock onto. Is there a direct turret control I can use? I want to control the dorsal railgun turret directly. So I want to use it as a camera for locking on. Because it is one issue I found with the ship, that it was hard to lock onto things. Let's see if we can find a nice lock target somewhere. That guy will do. Let's try and knock him out. Small good interceptor there, looking mostly undamaged. It's slowly plinking away with its small autocannons. Let's wait for this lock to complete, and we'll get back to the external view. I've got the Aegis cruiser there as well. It's probably a better target, actually. I did see the blue flash of the railgun. For some reason it doesn't seem to have shot or connected. Perhaps I missed. Seem to have lost most of the right turrets on the front side of the ship now. It's probably time for a new facing, because the the port turrets still seem in good condition. So I'm going to try rotating this around now. Let's get this ship to slowly crawl. Get its other turrets working. I'm actually surprised the dorsal turret has managed to survive so well. Got some fresh shots coming in now. There's not much more I can do from inside the ship, so I'm just going to go fly around a bit and take a look. I'm frustrated I forgot to use the torpedo launchers there, because they're very cool to see. But then again, given how laggy it is, I'm not sure my computer could handle launching them anyway at this point. You can see the turret here burning, but I do believe that's just superficial damage, because the rotor and hinge both seem to be operating fine. Just checking this. Well, it seems that the large railgun is just broken, is no longer functional. But it's really a testament to the quality of the design of the turret that both the rotor and the hinge are still operating fine, given the circumstances. I'm actually curious to see how many REBF ships are left, because it has destroyed the vast majority of the fleet, it seems. We still have the interceptor there, I believe, but he looks like he's significantly missing quite a lot of his ship. The Aegis over there seems in good condition, but it's taking fire now. Probably won't last that much longer. The artillery and assault cannons on it. And we can see the ship there, our interceptor, or the RBF interceptor, has lost its left wing. It's also lost its front torso. In fact, that's pretty much a dead ship by the looks of it. Does it even have hydrogen thrust left? The thrusters are working, but it's not flying. The AI is stored in the back of the ship, I believe. Oh, it's taken damage to the rear. So this ship has actually lost its combat AI. That's definitely a death. It's just has turrets and power, so it's still going. Take a look at the last two remaining ships. Oh, there's two more over there as well. Looks like two Sendais. There's the frigate. I tried to target earlier. And this is the main focus of fire. So we can get a bit closer and see what's happening to our Aegis over here. You can see bits of the Aegis flying off there. The custom turrets at the rear seem to have stopped functioning. It's possible that the custom turrets on the inside were destroyed, because those were definitely firing before, but they clearly have been rendered inoperable from damage. The ship seems to have lost most of its left armor. It's getting pummeled. It won't take too long for them to rip out the internals there. You can already see some of the internal hydrogen tanks burning away there. There's the welder fixing up the turret. But despite the welders repairing the turrets, it still managed to lose one, if not two, of its turrets. See the durability of those welders working there. Might be worth turning those off to save on processing power. That is the problem with welder turrets. It seems to have changed its target. It's a little bit unfair in a way because the welders here have infinite build power and they also repair extremely quickly because we are in creative mode at the moment. Whereas I think if we weren't in creative, the welders wouldn't have been able to repair the turrets fast enough. Even so, the ship's slowly melting away. We'll check in on the Dao Fortuna and see how that's doing. Still got one cannon at the back, still got a Gatling operating. Still all three of the left turrets there operating fine. Taking a lot of damage down below. The Al4 OA. Incredibly resilient. It seems the remains of the RBF fleet are primarily long-range assault cannons, and they just don't have the firepower necessary to really dismantle the artillery turrets. But I suspect if this was facing upwards, then all the remaining turrets would be able to focus on a single target. So I might try and do some repositioning. Especially because I don't really want the enemy ships shooting into our rear. You can see more and more of the front of the Aegis ship is melting away there. There's the dead interceptor to the front. And what else is there? It feels like the Aegis is the last ship around. Maybe the others are just chilling out. Go investigate this guy. See, there's 2 ships there that might be out of ammo. But it seems out of the entire 24 ships, it does seem there's only 3 ships actually left functioning. Oh, there's a few more over there. I think there's about 5 ships remaining, and they're mostly long-range fighter types other than the Aegis. I'll probably remove the welders on the Aegis, I think. I'll do that in the next update. First, because they consume too much processing power. Oof, there goes a hydrogen tank. And second, because if people are going to run this in creative mode at all, then it's not really fair to have infinite repairing power. This ship actually looks like it's dead. I think they've actually killed off the Aegis cruiser entirely. I believe all its turrets are gone completely. They simply ripped the structure out from under them. There was still 1 left. The ship's looking very much done, though. The autocannon there is functioning, but it's only got 3 guns left. I'm surprised it's still firing at all. What else is there? Thinking whether I should call it or not at this time. That said, the stream does seem to have died completely. At least on my screen. Let me try and stop it and restart it. So I will give that a quick go. Let's try switching these around. There we go. Seems to have reset a little bit. There's only 5 ships left, but the Dao Fortuna does have its turrets. I think I'm probably going to call this a victory for the Dao Fortuna, because if the large railgun turrets have been firing away from the very start, and if it also had been using its torpedo volleys as well, that would have given it a huge advantage in the start of the battle. Not the least because the drones would have been, the drone AI for the REBF Fleet would have been confused by the missiles as well. They would have wasted their time trying to shoot the missiles, which would give the Dao Fortuna more time to use its primary forward guns. I think the Aegis is drifting dead there. It's actually really impressive that this can go up against 24 ships and it's still more or less fully functioning. You can see it's got thrust in all its directions. Not right thrust there. It's got back thrust still going. I'm quite sure it's still got up thrust. I believe it's got lots of internal engines at the back if I remember correctly. He says as the hydrogen tanks detonate. So in any case, I think I'll probably call this here. Also be good to try and save on the PCU as well. See if we can't remove some of these. Just taking some time to process that. You can see all the loose parts that were floating around. Find the ways the ships get them off. In case my computer is running much more smoothly now. So I'm going to switch to a different screen for a moment. I'm going to have to reload the game because this is modless in this particular save. And if we're going to be building something, I do want quality of life mods like build info and similar. So I'll have to switch to a shipyard save file. So I'll just switch out of this for the moment. On my OBS. I'll switch just for the brief moment until I get the new, at least until I get the new save file loaded up. We can check that. Good chance for a hydration break as well. Let's go to an older version. Check its mod list, build info. It doesn't have. So I'm just setting up some mods for the new thing I want, easy block renaming. I want to add that in. It's really useful when you're copy pasting fighters and stuff, being able to rename everything really quickly. Okay, just need 15-20 seconds or so. I got that game loading now. Gonna check on Twitter. Any more messages? Nope. Looking right now. Got a few viewers in. That's quite cool. Nice to see everyone. If any problems with the sound, then do let me know. If you have any questions, do please feel free to ask. This is my first stream, so I apologize if I don't notice any of the chat messages straight away. Actually, I do have an SSD drive, but I don't have my Space Engineers on my SSD, which is making it load a lot slower than it should. If I transferred the game files onto that, then it would load a lot faster. So anyway, next up on the stream, I want to do building a fighter factory. I have made a prototype of this before, so I do have a proof of concept to make it work. One of the things that I want to do with it is I want to make a fighter factory that can print not just one factory, but I want to put 3 projectors on it. One to produce an autocannon factory, one to produce a rocket fighter, and one to produce an assault cannon fighter. Then I'll put 3 batteries at the back of the factory. And so if you shoot the first battery, then it will start producing autocannon fighters. And it should be able to build about 1 every 60 seconds, at least in creative mode. If they shoot the middle battery, then it'll start to constantly produce the assault cannon fighters. And the last one will be able to constantly produce rocket fighters. So then players can fight if they want to fight an infinite fleet of rocket fighters, assault cannon fighters, autocannon fighters, then they can set up that battle. So you can, so I've got the space engines loaded up, assuming you get that sorted on my OBS. Let's get back to this, there we are. Start back in the game, and I've got my quality of life mods on. So I can see all the details in that. Just getting my Twitch up so I can check how things are going. Okay. So I'll head over there because I need access to this. And then Alt F10. I want to make sure keep original ownership and paste. Definitely want to do that. Oh, I want to spawn myself as a person. There I am. So looking at the fighters down here, in the first stage, there's only Gatling guns, rockets, and some assault cannon fighters. There isn't actually a ship along here which only has 4 autocannons. but I might try. So I'll have to modify some of these to do that. I'll show the proof of concept first. So you can see this very primitive little thing here. Inside you can see it's kind of my Mark 1 drone design in there. Whereas these are got the Mark 2s there. I tried to design a slightly better one. What is it? Fighter EX. This guy here is the 3rd tier fighter. I was thinking about replacing those with this kind of upgraded version. It's not actually that much stronger, but, well, it's a lot cooler. It's got a much more unique shape. It's got ribbing and more detailing. But then the size of it makes it a lot harder to print. So I probably need like maybe 6 or 9 welders to get this built. Whereas with these, you can probably just build them with 1 or 2 welders. But anyways, we'll do a demonstration of this thing and see how this guy works here. I remember how to get in. I think I have to use the door at the back. So let's break open the window. I haven't used this thing in ages. Let's see, what's build and go? Factory fighter setup timer trigger now. Probably want that. So door opens. The projector should turn on. Welders come up. A little bit too slowly, I think. I think at the time I built this, I didn't know how to give multiple commands on it. I'm slowly building it there. It gives it a few seconds to build the last turret on the bottom. And also some time for fuel to flow into the fuel tanks. And it should launch it. So override thruster pushes it out, then AI and engines turn on. So all to do is set up a loop and make that produce constantly. But this system's a little bit primitive, and also it's not producing the fighter that I want it to build. I want it to be producing some of these Mark II fighters. I think the hardest one to build, I think the hardest one to produce would be the rocket fighter, because those are a little bit taller, if I remember correctly. What do we have here? That's an assault cannon variant. This is the rocket variant. Let's copy that, paste that up here, and we'll get rid of that because it's not important. Let's get this as a blueprint. Control B for that. Let's see, what shall I call it? REBF-factory. Oh, just something very foolish there. I put search instead of rename, so I lost the blueprint I was looking at. So this is Assault Fighter 2.1-2. Rename. And let's add factory into the front. So I've got that blueprint in, so once I get the factory built, then I can get things rolling. So first I'm going to start with a little bit of a ship structure, just so I can fly it around to put it in position. Medium ship core or small. We'll go for a medium ship core. It's got a large hydrogen tank. It's probably going to need more hydrogen so that it can fuel up eventually, so that it can fuel up the fighters. You'll have to draw hydrogen from the ship into the fighter if it's on survival. If it's on creative mode, it's fine because H2 generators just build an infinite amount super quick. So how do we want to do this? Thinking. There's so many ways to try and structure it. We could try to get a rotor and to rotate the blueprint in a circle. Just have the welders build it that way. Let's get that facing upwards nice. Also need space for a piston to go up and down. I mean, ideally it'd be best if we could build it without using pistons at all. It makes the process much more simple. But I don't think we'll be able to do that. Do I want to go straight into a rotor? I want to put anything else on the sides? I don't think so. It's probably a large grid rotor there, but I want to build something small grid, so I'm going to cut that off. I want to go and attach the small head on that. And then potentially I'll be wanting to put rockets into this. So what's the best way to go about that? So I don't want to use a converter. Just go straight for the connector. It might be worthwhile having some things on the side. Probably not. Just going to put the... I'll put a frame on it so I can extend and pull it out first, while still allowing things to go. I'm probably going to have to increase or decrease these number of frames so I can match it up with when the pistons come down eventually in the end. Let's see what's next. No, not rotor, I want connector. What should I have set up? I normally have that set up by default. So a connector, then we'll need a merge block. So I think I've got one already set up. Yeah, I do. Oh, that's a big merge block. I want small merge block. Wrong size. Oh, I was not happy to put it there. Why not? Let's try putting it. I know that can connect, so let's try doing it this way. Try to put it there. Merge facing forward. So then, let's find our factory REBF assault. Factory assault fighter. Which way's up? I'm guessing this will be up. I have to modify this a little bit. It's going to need a merge block so it can attach to the construction rotor. Can't fit there. I have to dig this out a bit. I'll try and keep the colors consistent. Dark red. Ooh, this looks like so. It's not the same color. Curses. I could just go dark. Black. Maybe it's also more torn. Feels like it should be a little bit darker. It's probably at 40%. I always put things at 40%. Is that the same color? Yeah, close enough. Put two of those there. Let's get our merge block in. It's not aiming at this exact point on the merge block. Control C. I can't see anything. I'm blind. Okay, there we go. And then I aim on this merge block. I can get on there. Oh, I won't spawn because I'm too close, I believe. Okay, so that's the distance. So I need to try and set up my pistons so they'll come down and build this shape from the top. One of the issues is that the welder has to be very, very far away from the turrets to build them. Because the turrets, even though they look small, they actually have a really, really big sort of hitbox, so to speak. That can be a problem because the welders need to be outside the hitbox a bit, I think. This is on a rotor, so I can just twist this to rotor it. I don't need anything else, do I? I'll need a projector to project that out somewhere. I'll probably just add that in now. No, I don't want that. Let's put that in control 2. Oh, I didn't save the new blueprint with the extra merge block on it. So let's see. I'm looking for 4 gray lines on the top. That's up. And then those 2 lines there, that's the forwards of the projector. So let's put there. Put 1 there. And eventually I'm going to have 3 of these, but we just need 1 for now, I guess. Let's update this blueprint because I want it to have... It bothers me, the difference in color. Alright, let's go down to 20. That's close enough. Close enough. That's what I gotta tell myself. Okay, and then let's update the blueprint. Don't want hyphen underscore. I'll cut this off for now. Clean up the ammo that just came out. So I need it to shoot the blueprint out of there. I was going to put a cockpit here just so I can see what I'm doing. See, projector. Give it a name. Factory fighter. Let's click something there. Factory fighter. Factory fighter projector. A hyphen there, so it makes it a bit more sense. One. Oh, this is, what is this? This is rocket fighter, so I should specify that as well. So I use assault when I'm talking about rocket fighters because they're for close range. Factory assault fighter projector. Blueprints. Let's go find the two. No, this. It's like a work in progress. I was trying to do it before, but it's very incomplete. So I want to do this on stream. So I'm doing this fresh. I don't know how this is going to turn out. The projection's there, but as we can see, the background is a little bit sideways. And so what we need first, we need to get the rotation right. Let's try rolling. It's facing up, not that. It's rotating that way. Is that facing forwards now? I think so. Let's try pushing it forwards. Oh, it's on its side a bit. Is that up? I'm not sure. I need to go see where the merge block is. No, it's upside down because I want that merge block on the top. Go back to our projector settings. And then let's try twisting that way. And it's got the merge block on top there. So we're going to link the top of that merge block with the merge block here. Take a look at offsets, bring them back a bit. Just bring it down a bit. Is that same height? It doesn't look right. I think let's go one lower. I think it's the projection's inside. Yeah, the projection's going into the merge block. So it needs to go 2 forwards. Oh, we're getting a lot of lag on this suddenly. So I'm saying forwards. No, it's further back. Let's try 11. And I think that's good. Yes, that's lined up now. Now, very important because I always forget to do this. Go to here and keep projection. So after it builds, it won't forget what it's building. So now the question is the pistons. Let's see. So we need welders at some point, definitely. Frames might be useful for extending their height up and down. The pistons won't need projector anymore in that, so leave that there. Got small there, so I'm probably just use small cargo containers for all these. But apparently using small cargo containers, like for your conveyancing, every time something moves through it, it has to check, oh, am I going left, right, up, down? So apparently it uses up like more server resources or more processing power, whatever. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. So our welders are, get one up. 2 blocks tall there. So where do we want it? They can reach 1 block downwards in terms of large block size, at least. So put it there. Would it reach the middle if I did that? Maybe. I guess I'll need to go one. I can test it. We can test it. It's going to copy paste this and make a temporary save. Factory, build, save. More about the coloring later. It's kind of painful looking at that actually. I'm going to try and use the actual small reinforced wrong size. But you know, these are so beautifully different, almost indistinguishable. And a slight difference on there. And then no welders yet. Let's start putting in welders. That's definitely not going to reach. That's looking about right. Is that going to work? I could bring that across and then just have the welders turn that, because they do have conveyors on the side. I'll test this. If it works, then I'll just extend the conveyancing here. These things build in like a circle. So often you can just remove the middle ones there and it'll still build fine. But I'm going to leave these on now, just want to be absolutely sure. And let's see what's next. Next is, I guess, just turn on the welders and then start spinning it and see how well it does. I mean, eventually the spinning is going to bump into this thing and stop it from moving. So I probably will need to replace that over there with a piston so these can go up and down slightly. Let's just start it building for now and see what happens. Let's just copy and make a fresh paste over there as a backup. I'm going to delete some of these because it's going to be using up my PC too much. There's a lot of lighting systems around there to give them like the evil glow. So you can just free up some memory. This isn't the final version, so you don't have to worry about. Yeah, it's flowing a lot smoother now. That's nicer. So what was I doing? Let's see. So weld test. Okay, welders. Weled. Type slower. Welders. Welders. Just name that name for now. I have to do this on the other ship as well, I just realized. I should have done this before copy pasting. Gone off. So let's see how that goes. Build. Let's take a look. How much is actually built? So it's built the entire thing all the way to the front. That's nice. Can it build all the way to the bottom? It's cannot reach these parts. And it hasn't built the top turret either because the top turret is inside this thing. But I could get the rotor to spin very slowly. Well, I feel this is going to rotate up. It's going to bump there. It's not going to be able to go through. So I think I'm definitely going to need at least one piston on this. Actually, no, instead of a piston, I could put a hinge here. I can make the hinge like bend downwards. So it bends down like that. And then it rotates and turns around. And then goes back up. That could be another way of doing it. I don't have to mess around with the piston settings too much because they can be quite frustrating to work with sometimes. Then again, this thruster here is not built either. Okay, so our rotor, what we're going to do with that. I want it to move very, very slowly. Let's lock for the moment. What's a good speed? 0.5 eventually? Current angle 0. Trying to remember that. I think unlock and just see what happens. Rotating very, very slowly, and it stops completely because Not even that, but it's already bumping into something here. So rotation system's not going to work, or it's not going to be enough by itself. So I was getting some dust out my eye. The front of the ship doesn't need a lot of extra work. Maybe I could put a hinge for the welders. Because I'm going to have to hinge this down, rotate it, and hinge it back up. I think a piston is just going to have to be the best way. So let's cut this. Oh, I didn't connect that properly. It's stupid of me. Let's do that. I've got the backup there. That's fine. Let's cut that. Get our piston up. We'll paste this on top. Oh, I can't paste it on because the ship's there is in the way. But that is movable because we're just building a new one. Oops. I gotta reset my rotor as well. Advanced rotor. Let's start by reversing it. Let's get these limits to 0. Oh, nope, doesn't like that. I should lock when it gets to the right height. Is it continuing onwards? It better not. It's continuing onwards. Why are you doing that? 180. 0. Just keep it spinning until it stops. Let's get it faster. Is it minus? Oh, of course it's a minus, that's why. Is it perfect upside down? Or is it exactly the right way up? I'm not sure. It's perfect the right way up. Okay, good. So now that that's out of the way, I should be able to copy paste this in. No. Why not? What's overlapping? Probably, I think the welders need more space. Must be why. It's probably because the cockpit's there. I don't really want to lose my cockpit controls. So how about now? Nope. Deleted the cockpit for no reason. Let's try manually building this. Because pistons liked a lot of space on stuff. Because they want there to be like nothing inside the box. There we go. Okay, so before I start the rotation, I want these to be moving up a little bit so there's enough space for it to turn. How much space do we need? Each of these small blocks I think is 0.5 of a meter, and each of these blocks is 2.5, which is 4 small blocks. So I want them to go up 2 blocks up, 3 blocks up. Is that enough? I think so. I think 3 blocks. That's 1.5. Let's give it a maximum height. Maximum distance 1.5. I want to go up a little bit. Set reverse. So that pushes up a little bit. Still not building the top tower, but as this rotates out the way, the welder should be able to build it. And of course, I've got to rebuild this thing. Find the rotor. And it's on 0 velocity. Let's get rid of those limits. Upper limit, unlimited. Lower limit, unlimited. I think probably afford to go a little bit faster than it was before. Let's see if this can build everything now. They're just building. Yeah, now it's built the turret. Good, good, good. Is this going to bump? Or is it going to go? Oh, what's happening? Magical! Why did that happen? Ah, I know why that happened. The wrath of Clang has been invoked because the rotor turned the ship, which pushed into this. So the turning of the rotor was pushing into this grid, creating a kind of like perpetual motion loop. So the rotor was constantly pushing here, which was pushing this, which made this spin around and fly off into space. Fantastic. Hope there's not too much damage on this thing. This thing's kind of doomed. Let's get rid of you. Hopefully, be very careful what I delete here. I might go into the ship and just fly it away a little bit. So what is this? Is ship core? No, it doesn't have that. I've also realized that I built this fact thing upside down. I wanted the pistons to go up, but there's no difference either way because the ship's kind of symmetrical. Okay, so that didn't work because they need to be high enough that when this spins, it definitely does not touch the physical hitbox of these welders. Otherwise it'll clang and spin out of control like we just saw. So I'll have to try that again. Do I have this? Yes. So remove that. Remove that. Just rebuild that quickly. Let's get piston. Conveyor. I think these are on by default. I should turn them off before I do anything else. Do these guys remember their group? Oh, they do. Fantastic. Turn those off for now. Before I begin the grand experiment. So we start by building, maybe let's try extending this 2 meters up instead of 1.5. Maybe try 2.5, make it like a little bit safer, because these things do have quite long building range. I'm probably keeping them a lot closer than I need to be. Okay, so first let's set up the piston. Let's try 2.5 meters limit, and then yeah, so build and then reverse. Let's try that. And let's see, piston reverse. We can assign that in here. And go get the welder group. Turn on off. Then what? Then what? Then the rotor. Let's make an emergency lock panic button. And get increase velocity, decrease velocity. That's all I need. Do I need to flip it all? It builds both the turrets on both sides, doesn't it? So then a 180 flip would be enough. So I could put a 180 limit on the rotor. Maybe. Let's experiment with this and see how it goes. Let's do initial build. So we got the central spine going. How long did that take? Like 2 or 3 seconds? So in creative mode it takes about 3 seconds to get the initial spine of the ship up. Now let's try increasing piston height. Make a copy of this just in case it inevitably explodes. You can see how high those are. So hopefully those won't bump into this as it turns, but they still might. And hopefully its lock goes down, builds far enough that it will be able to construct these little bits on the side and also in the bottom. Let the grand rotation begin. That's spinning quite fast. Oh, hasn't clanged. Yeah, there goes our kebab fighter. Man, I'm hungry for chicken tikka now. Or tikka kebab of some kind. And yeah, that's built. So what needs to happen next? Do we launch and then unrotate the fighter? Is there something we could do to make the fighter just rotate 360? Let's put a 180 limit on the... Man, it's going to need a lot of timer blocks to get this functioning. You can also see that this ship is moving around a bit. Because as that rotates, just to go really closely here, if we look at the ship and we look at those stars in the distance, you can see the ship is very, very slowly rotating from the inertia on here, because these count as two separate objects. So if I go to the rotor and I set share inertia, it should solve that. Nope. My solution seems to have increased the problem. Maybe let's turn the share inertia off. Ah, panic, panic. Please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way. If I change the ship here into a station, then it won't be able to move, and then this won't be a problem anymore. I'm not sure if I can do that while this is rotating though. Can I turn this into a station now? No. Maybe if I stop the rotor, it will. Let's do that. Info, convert to station. Okay. Now if I turn this, no more movement. It's stable now. That's one problem solved. Next, the rotor. Oh, is it not gonna... If I make it stop at 180 degrees, is it going to be able to build? I guess the little arm at the back's not really that important. I feel like I give this a 180 block, then a 180 limit. What am I doing? Okay, where is it? Okay, that's the angle. The top is 0. So I give an upper limit of 180. Then it should stop when it's perfectly upside down. Or maybe I could just make it go 270. Then it would definitely be able to build all of it. Okay, it's not at 180. It's only minus 300. Is this thing actually planning to stop soon? Interesting. Let's start setting the lower limit to 180. See how it feels about that. Oh, that's going backwards. What are you doing? The current rotation is out of limits. We'll go back in limit. I guess the idea is it only goes down to 180. Let's try getting rid of this upper limit. So this is upside down now. Good. That's the way we want it to be. Let's try... Sorry, I was thinking how to set this up. I think the upper limit 0. Oh no. Upper limit limited. Then will that is going to circle? Can I set this to 360 degrees exactly? Let's try that. So let's try, so currently at minus 3. So let's increase to 0, increase to plus 3. If I rotate you around, what happens? Stops there. Stops there, perfect. But I might launch this ship sideways, I'm thinking. Because one of the tiny little pieces of armor here did get built, which is on the side. But then, I mean, it would work if I just made it turn to 270 degrees. Well, they could just not have that piece of armor there. Like, did they really need it? Probably not. Okay, it's going to delete the previous... I'm quite happy with that. It's going to delete the older models. Let's get a new reserve in. Let's back up in case something explodes. What next then? So I think the building progress works. Just need to think through the logic. So when it starts, this needs to be an upright position. So after it turns upside down, you have to reset it to go back up. There has to be a timer for that. Oh, another question. Do I need these two welders? Let's experiment with that first. So, to prove for the whole process, I should be able to do it from here. Welders off. Then launch thruster X. Launch. That's the override thruster. Launch sequence timer. I want that. So what am I doing? I'm finding the launch timer onside the fighter. And trigger now. So we can launch him, so we'll shoot away. Except he's not launching. Interesting. Ah, of course. He can't launch away because the merge block is there. It's not integrated into the fighter yet. And now he's just like panicking. You are no longer needed. Do I have a copy of the fighter around somewhere? It's this thing, isn't it? That doesn't have the merge on, so I'm going to have to paste it in a new version. Factory assault fighter. It's added on a new block, but I didn't include it in the timer's instructions. So when the timer activates, this connector needs to turn. Oh, does it have ownership? It doesn't need to. It's just a merge block. I better double check that all these belong to the same faction. Assign to RBF. Okay, then go find the launch timer. What do you do? All of this stuff, but you also need to unlock the connector. It's probably better to turn it off completely. Might as well upgrade this while we're here. So if it is a failed launch, sometimes it'll get magnetically pulled back if it doesn't shoot away from the factory fast enough. Lock? No, opposite. Unlock. If I just do full turn off, then it will get sucked back in. And I wanted to find the merge block. I should give that a name actually. I want to turn you off. So give the merge block a name. Let's see, REBF factory salt fighter.1 small merge block, that'll do. Let's update the blueprint. Name, get_1. Now the blueprint in here is still pasting the old blueprint. So we have to update the blueprint in the projector. This guy, copy to clipboard. And it should be in exactly the same place. Just double check that. Okay, that's good. And that's a notable update. So let's get rid of the old one. And make another backup copy as well. Stick them far over there. In case they both blow up or make some big error. Okay, so what am I doing? I wanted to test whether I could build the full ship using only 3 welders, because these things have quite a big radius to the left and right. So we'll see if they can carry on along to the sides. This might not work, but it's worth testing. So welders are off, piston down, projector on, and then that's looking pretty good. Failed to build some of the armor at the front here. The circle just, you can see where the edge of this building circle is, and it just doesn't reach those 2 blocks, but they're mostly decorative. Ah, the turrets here didn't build. That's interesting. But if we pull the welders up and rotate it, maybe those get built in the progress anyway. Actually, if I'm only rotating 180 degrees, it will build one of the turrets where it rotates, but it won't build the other one. So I definitely need a welder here. Can I get away with not doing that? Let's start this again. I'm gonna have to put at least 4, I think. Unless I do the 270 turn, that would allow 3 welders to build it, but it's probably safer just to have the extra welder in there anyway. I should try to make it too complicated. What am I doing? Let's turn off welders. Let's push this up. Let's get rid of this. Added a new welder on there. I need to add him to the welder group. Add him in, save, there we go. Okay, pistons down, build, pistons up, rotate. Is it finished? We'll have to find out. So pistons down. And pistons on. Then pistons up. And then spin to win. And we'll see what's not built after the 180 turn. So I think it'll be that armor there. I'm missing one of the guns there. So it is going to have to be a 280 degree turn. Oh, this part of the top's not built. That's a problem. That is a problem. Although if I had the 4th thing here, it probably would build that. Or it might build that. I guess we do need all the welders. So I'm going to try and make them a little bit more efficient. If I turn this on, does it reach? No. Ugh. I sort of put on a hinge and just tilt it like boop, 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 boop. And then it just means more subgrids, more weight, more rotation problems. I can't frame and lower those, can I? If I lowered those down, then it wouldn't be able to escape because it would fly forward. And if these welders were down here, when this flies forward, the turret would go bonk and hit the welders. So I think it is going to have to be a hinge launch. So possibly I could replace these frames with a small 3x3 hinge block. Put those 2 down a bit. And then once it finishes building, the hinge will turn it 45 degrees down or 90 degrees down and just launch it south. That could solve that problem. I'm going to try changing the limit on this to 270 degrees. I want to see how that works out on the rotor. Let's go find his lower limit. Should be down to 90, I guess. If I do 270-degree turn, builds all the turrets. That's good. Has it built all the Gatling guns? Yes. 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 Yes, okay, so it's built all the core systems, just missing a little bit of the decorative armor in the front there. But that's launchable and workable. there anything at the back that's not complete? Yeah, I think it's going to have to be a 270-degree spin so I can get everything built. Oh, I can test the launch method now as well. I might as well do that. See welders off. Oh, it doesn't recognize the launch block. Didn't change name though, so I don't know why not. I think it could be because that needs to be a group. And then the cockpit will be able to remember the launch timer, even though it's not built. Let's go find that launch timer block. I'll make that a single group. Factory REBF factory assault fighter .1. What is this? Launch timer. Because obviously it isn't complicated enough already. Then instead of adding the block, let's add the group as one block. Trigger now, and then after this launches, it should remember what that block is now, because it's remembering the group, not the block itself, which flies away. So launch. Override pushes it away, and the thrusters should turn on. Oh, and it's heading over to go attack the command base. Perfect. Which one of these is my most recent design? I've forgotten which was which. I think this is the one I was just doing. It's upside down from where I am now. That's not facing at an angle. This should be facing at 270 degrees, which it is. So therefore, this was my one I was just working on. If 270 degrees works, next phase is we have to push these guys down. So we actually get rid of that entirely. This could become... I don't need to block up there actually, because they can just convey straight through here. Thinking. Welder here. Then a T-junction. And then we'll try sticking these welders further down. But is that going to clang when it turns? It might do. It might do. One way to find out. Right, let's make something far, far away, and we'll experiment with that instead. Okay. Let's see, what am I doing? Piston down first. I need to rotate the projection back to its original position. Build start mode. Okay, is everything ready there? So we build the core, pull the piston up. I might get the piston to move a little bit slower so there's enough time to build as they go upwards. That could be a problem. Piston, what's your speed? Velocity 0.5. Let's make that half. Oh, oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Minus 0.25. Get them back in position. I need to remake the welder group as well. Save. What else do we need? What else do we need? I think that's it. Okay, so projection is on. Get the welders on. See how that works at the front. Builds it pretty well. These are kind of freaking out a bit though. That's probably going to be a problem for processor power. In fact, even right now it's a little bit laggy. And if I want the player to be able to run like 3, 4, 5 of these factories simultaneously, then I do want the processing to be good. Next, let's try expanding the piston. Actually, instead of rotating the fighter, I could put a hinge here and just rotate these up out of the way and then launch the fighter that way. Let's just do a full rotation and get this thing going. Oops, shouldn't be doing that so fast. Just got time to build. Let it cook. Cooking my assault fighter. In any case, this is turning without conflicting with these. But even then, my understanding with welders is that they have to do a lot of processing thinking as long as any block is inside their cube area there. So looking at this, you can see that cube. So this thing is inside the cube area of this welder, so it has to constantly check whether this is bumping into that or something weird like that. I don't know the details, but I'm not sure. But a lot of players, they put like a glass window. I might try doing that if the processing power becomes a problem. But they put like a glass window on the front like this to stop things pushing into the collision detection radius of the welder. I know that's like a very popular thing to do. But if I put that there, then it might make it difficult to build other parts of the ship. Or alternatively, I could get I might have to use a claw mechanism with welders on the right and on the left, push them both in, and then pull them both out from left and right, then spin it. I could do that, and then I'm using glass to prevent the detection. But then I'd have 10 welders instead of 5, which is more processing power, so I'm not really sure what the best solution is there. And okay, so if I try to launch this, it's clearly going to bonk into that. But the construction is 100% complete. Just check there's no holes, it's all looking good. Do I piston these, or do I piston the ship? I think if I piston these, it's going to look a little weird. But then it'd be smaller in overall ship design. It would also be kind of cool to have it go and shoot out the bottom of the ship as well. I think hinging these is probably the best solution. Or maybe, I mean, it doesn't collide, right? So it should be okay. Then again, if you use the hinge, it might, with the hinge head, it might push this thing further down. It shouldn't do. Actually, I might be able to change hinge settings on that. Or I could rotate them out the way. Put a rotor up there. No, because then they're going to clang with that. That wouldn't work. We'll try the hinge, see what happens. So run this, and then one, two. Oh, it hasn't remembered the launch timer. That could be a problem. I'll have to look into that later. Launch sequence timer. Where do I go now? If I put into a timer block, maybe we'll remember it then. Still seems to have forgotten it. Changing that up allows it to leave. Now next is hinge controls. Let's go to a new page, I guess. Let's set up the hinge first because I do want it to have some limits. I believe this way is down. Put the AMA limit to 0. Low limit 90, that's fine. With a little bit of negative velocity. Does it go down? It does. I'll have to go a little bit faster than that. Oops. That's not a negative. Pachong. I think I can probably get this to go really fast, actually, because it's not going to bump into anything, in theory. Is there a reverse? There is. Those welders are on, these are not. Let's get those two on, so they're the same as those. Let's get them into the welder group. Save. Turn those off. Then G, hinge. The only thing I need here is reverse, right? Don't need anything else for it. That's looking good. Certainly it's on a separate page because it's only one. I thought it'd be more functions, but I need one actual command for this. Let's stick them over there. Reverse. Okay, let's just copy it. I can delete the old versions, right? I don't need those anymore. I think this one's like objectively superior now. Let's go put some backups far away so they don't explode. That's also deprecated. I don't need the proof of concept factory. And then let's execute. Let's give it a go. See how this works. So first, piston down. Oops, reverse. Oops, that's not a piston. No, first I have to reset the rotor. Let's get all the way back up. He's in the correct position. Negative one? I want to decrease it to start the rotation. Okay. Then piston down. Pressing the right button this time. Let's see what happens next. We will need okay, so welders on. That does its magic. Oh, interesting. The welders aren't bugging out and flickering around. Not trying to constantly build something it can't build. Maybe because it's a separate grid. Actually, it's already a separate grid because it's on the end of the piston. Okay, and then piston up, then rotate. Next, rotate. Decrease rotation. This will probably take about 10 times longer in survival mode. I have to increase all the timer blocks accordingly for that. Okay. Not finished. Still not remembering these things. Maybe I can make a timer block and then put the launch timer into that on the primary structure. It might remember it. In any case, I have to solve that later. Next is hinge. And then launch. Let's do a bit of an experiment. Let's try throwing in a timer block here. Let's see if we can get it to remember. There's a way to get it to remember, but I forget what it is. So our factory launch timer. Set of actions, we go find and do the group or the actual block itself. Oh, the group's gone. It deleted the group. Fascinating. Shouldn't have done that. We'll try just using the actual on-ship block for now. Let's try remaking the group. Because is because when they separate, the group attaches to the fighter, and the fighter flies away. So it kind of sucks the group memory off the primary mothership, is what I think's going on. What I want to do, I want to find launch sequence timer to make that a group. Factory, fighter, launch. Let's try this again. Factory. Save as a group. And then factory launch timer. Let's just see how this goes. Factory launch timer block. Oh, not there. Here. Factory launch timer block. Let's try telling you to trigger now and see if you will remember. Phew. Off it goes to get blown up by players. What next then? This is not the default starting position. I'm gonna need so many timer blocks to get this to function. Let's check if the timer block remembers yet. Set up actions. It's there in gray, but it still shows the picture. Let's try building a new one and see if the timer block remembers. Going through this process again. Welders off, piston down. We want front welders down, and we need to reset the rotor on this. Then welders on. Step 1 welders. Step 2 pistons. That's good enough. Step 5 rotate. There's probably going to be like 10 timer blocks to get all this going. Raise the front. Activate the timer block. Nada. Does not remember. Interesting. I have to double check some of my old creations to see how that works. It works with the torpedo, so why not with this? I can't debug that at the moment. Otherwise I'll be here for like an hour just like pondering and doing this over and over again. I think I know what's happening. I need to make it as a group on the fighter itself so that it's copied into the blueprint. I think that would work. Let's try this one last attempt at debugging, and I'll give up on it and just move on. So I need the fighter. I did that before though, didn't I? Maybe I did it, but I didn't save as the blueprint, possibly. I mean, this doesn't have a group in its blueprint. Launch sequence timer. Let's copy that name as well. Then we've got a group of 1. Is the timer? Yes. Launch timer group. Save. Control B for the blueprint. New name. Overwrite the old one. And then I'm going to need to upgrade the blueprint in here. Let's launch this thing away first, actually I can just cut it off. We'll find the projector. Blueprint. Factory fighter. Da-da-da-da-da. That's the new blueprint, which should have the group inside. So once that's built, this whole process again. Turn that off. Hinge down, piston down. Let's rotate back up. down to 0. Welders on. Raise piston. Okay. Begin rotation. Almost done. Hinge up. Now let's try to assign that launch group. This has been built with the fighter. Set up actions. Ooh, that's the actual time block itself. Launch timer group. What am I doing? Factory launch timer. Set up actions. Launch timer group for the fighter. Set to trigger now. I'm going to put that into the cockpit as well, because maybe one of these things will remember it. What am I doing? Group. Okay, let's launch, rebuild, and see if I can just trigger with the timer block. So launch, goodbye. And here we go again. Off, nose down, this down, rotate to original position. Others on. Rising piston. Rotate. Front welders up. And moment of truth. Launch. Yes. Got it going. Okay, so that's now a fully functional system. That works perfectly. The only thing left is timer blocks and timing the whole system and thinking through every step as we go along, as well as a reset function. Let's see. I need a lot of these things. I could probably make it a little bit more PCU efficient by throwing a whole bunch of whatchamacallits, event blocks. But I was going to say with timer blocks, I just want to do with what I know. Let's try 9 and see if that's enough, but it might need more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get this rotated up. Welders off. Hinge down. Pistons can stay up for now. So I'm doing to get it back into the starting position. Okay. Just now have to give all the commands as a set of timed instructions. Oh boy. Okay, let's go straight into control 2. I should have gotten rid of that. The timer block should remember anyway. I hope. I pray. Hopefully it remembers it. I'll have to find out. Won't be a big problem to fix if it has lost the memory. Okay, so first, timer blocks. I want the orange ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's correct. Block 1. Let's select all of these and give them a prefix. I have a mod for doing that, so REBF factory fighter. Not one. Prefix all of those. So number 1, what do you do? Let's call it start, I suppose. So first step is turn on the projector, turn on the welders, and let it build. Don't need delay on it. So projector. And I'm going to need different timer blocks to put out different projections. So I'll need to put that into the naming system of this block as well. So first we'll need to toggle the projection on. It should be off by default. Then welder group on. Then timer 1, timer 2, start. How long does it take to build this? I said it's like 3 seconds or something, isn't it? I'll put it as 4 seconds for now. So number 2 needs a delay of 4 seconds. I just want to double check. I told it to start and not trigger. Okay, yes, start. So I want to have that 4-second delay. Then after this builds, it needs piston up. Oh, not this one, this one. Piston up timer block. And I'm going to find the piston and tell it to reverse thrust in this direction. That builds up, and then we need 1, 2, 3, and number 3, start. How long does it take for these to go up? Like, should we say 5 seconds? We just have to refine it as we go along. So this activates timer block 3. I'll give it 5 seconds for this to go up and to build the thing. What's it set to? Like 0.25. And it goes up 2.5 meters. Which actually be quite a lot of seconds. Maybe I'll make it 10. Just in case. There should be enough time to build all the stuff it needs anyway. So after the piston gets to the top, then what happens? Then we rotate the fighter. So we find the rotor and increase velocity, decrease. We want to decrease the velocity. It's not in 0 at the moment, but it should be. And then anything else? No, then just activates the next timer block. So factory fighter time block 4, start. And that needs quite a lot of time. How long does it take to do the 270 turn? I don't know how long it is. I'm going to put 15 seconds just to kind of be cautious about it. Might not be long enough. We'll see what happens when we try building it. Then after it rotates all the way around, next the hinge goes up, then it launches. So after it rotates, hinge goes up. So I'm saying hinge up timer block. So what did block 3 do? It's piston up, then rotate timer block. So starts, welders and projectors turn on, then it raises the piston, then it turns the ship around and it cooks it. Then the hinge at the front goes up. it's going to need to go up twice. Because it'll be, so if I do this, it'll go to 0 and it won't move up because it's currently at -3 or -5. So I'm going to need to give it 2 commands to increase velocity, which means I need to turn that hinge into a group. So I'm going to assign multiple commands to it. REBF factory fighter .1 hinge. Save. So then we go find the hinge timer. And find the hinge again. First we'll give 1 command straight to the hinge. Increase velocity to go up. And then a second command. So this will put it to 0. This will put it to +5. So then that will be able to go up. After the hinge goes up, you'll need just 2 seconds to do that probably. Let's do 3 to be safe at first. And after those 3 seconds, it then launches the ship. And after that, it'll reset everything. Okay, so what am I doing? Oh God, what number is this block? I completely forgot. What is this? Where am I up to? Timer. Start, rotate. No. Hinge up block 4. So on block 5 now. Start on new. And 3 seconds for those to go up. So I need to go find that hinge. Was it timer block 5? I've forgotten. My memory's so... This is no name, so it must be this one. Double check quickly for hinge up, and then let's rename this just so I know what I'm doing in my own head. This is fighter launch. Fighter launch timer. And what do you do? Well, first set it to the delay. What do you do? You activate that. We don't want to launch the ship's block because it will get forgotten. But we want to activate this timer block. Trigger now. So the ship launches. And 3 seconds later, we then reset. So we'll need a start this one. So timer 6. Where is it? Let's give it 5 seconds just to be cautious. Give lots of time for the ship to clear. And you do all sorts of stuff. So what needs to happen? The hinge needs to come down. It's going to be full reset. So hinge, decrease velocity, decrease velocity. Then the pistons need to, the welders need to turn off. The projector needs to turn off. So it doesn't waste spawn projection. Oh, that's interesting. Must be a creative mode thing. Toggle block off. Let's experiment with that. Let's do interesting. Must be a new thing. Right, where was I? So hinges come down, welders turn off, projector turns off, piston comes down. And then the rotor needs to go back as well. But if it's on negative movement, it's going to need 1 increase to put it to 0 and a second increase to put it to positive rotation. So I'm going to need an extra group for the rotor. So we're going to assign 2 commands to it in the timer block. Dear God. That's a timer block. It's a rotor. Factory fighter dot one. This thing. It's probably a better name. That doesn't do anything special about it, does it? No, just a new group. I don't want it to... No, I can't do that because that'll cause more problems. I guess I could. I have to do this for the... Let's do that for now. For the group. 2, 3. I should just slow rotate it, making this too complex. So now the rotor. It's negative to turn it this way, so positive to turn it back around. So factory fighter dot one. Rotor. Increase velocity. Let's get one of these groups. Increase velocity. Yes, because positive pushes it this way, negative pushes it the other way. This will reset it. So it'll be at +6 when it finishes. So I need to go back to the rotor and make sure it gets set to -6. Is that everything? Then it will then start another timer block to eventually restart the whole progress, and it'll be infinitely producing fighters. But that's for later. Let me sort this out now. What's this on +6? So thinking about the default start. Welder's off, yes. Projector needs to be off. Pitage. Prog projector off by default. And rotor, I can do that straight from here. Oops, wrong button. So 4 starts the rotation. Ends it, so it'll be on +3 at the start. So where was that rotator timer block? This one. There's not enough to do that. It needs to decrease it twice. Okay, now the whole process should be automated. Just in case my computer crashes or something dies horribly. Let's copy. Duplicate over there. Hopefully nothing tremendously bad happens. Okay. Seems I only need 6 or 7 so far, but I'm going to need these other ones for the other projection types. Move those. And build start. Trigger now. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Why did that blink? That shouldn't have blinked. What? Something's gone wrong. This got activated early for some reason. So at one point I activated this instead of the next thing in the line. So where are we at the moment? The next step is the rotation, which hasn't happened. So the rotate block didn't get the command. So let's go check our timing sequence. One by one. Oh, it's because I named them in such a similar way. Oh, but this is the one that got activated, but it shouldn't have. Let's go find number one. Start. So what do you do? That happened. Yes, that happened. Yes. Piston up. That happened. Let's go check the piston up block. Where's piston up? What do you do? Factory launch timer block 3 start. That's the error. That's the error. Pistons go up. Then it's the rotation block I want. Rotate timer block. Start. That should fix the problem. Okay, let's manually reset this. Welders off. And piston down. Ejector off. Okay, let's try again. See how it goes. On the plus side, I know the factory launch block is going to launch the fighter. Gotta sit back and relax. Mm. One, two, bonk. Close enough. Okay, so we need more time on the... Those things go up slower than I thought. I have to modify that. Let's check this resets properly. Oh, the timing seemed pretty decent. Okay, so what needs... Oh, actually, I think it's going to attack the base. I didn't delete it. Oh, well. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's see, next step. The hinge up timer. Timer block. This was fine. It was... What does that do? It does the fighter launch timer. REBF fighter.1 fighter launch timer block 5. Timer block 5. You. Let's give it an extra 3 seconds. And let's go again. Boop. I suspect this fighter doesn't have stockpile on off as part of its launch sequence. So in survival, I think this would have no fuel in it. Oh, bonked anyway. I definitely give it more time. Did I not? Excuse me, sir. What's your name? Am I not using you? Ah. Because I was using not this, but what was on the ship itself. That's why the change in timer didn't affect anything. I'm sorry, you set to 1 second delay. Could change the timer on the blueprint, I suppose. I've got this timer block here, I might as well use it. Factory, we've got factory, factory launch time to block you. Is that 6 seconds? This also has the, okay, what does the, so the hinge goes up, but it turns on the next one. So the hinge timer, what are you actually activating? Not you, the timer block. REBF factory fighter.1 fighter launch timer block 5. Pretty sure I set that to 6 seconds, didn't I? To be factory assault fighter if it was the actual ship. And also this is something that exists. Maybe just go to that and make it a little bit longer. Factory fighter.1 launch time block 5 is this one. So just need more time. Let's give it a go. See the blue beeps of the timer blocks going along there. It's actually almost perfect timing on the raising. I think it's 5 seconds per 90-degree turn. Yeah, the timing on that's pretty much perfect. It's really nice. Yeah, this is actually really slow, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And can it launch without bumping? Yes. And know that the reset set works. So that's finished. The fighter factory is complete. All I have to do is basically just decorate it. But I have to make sure I have a lot of space at the sides. Because, again, the turrets need to make sure there's nothing above or in front of them. Got some basic armoring I can throw on this. It's kind of crusty like that. Is it going to be okay? That's going to come up too early. I'm not mirroring this. It's wasting my time. What mirrors do I want? I want left, right mirror. I want up and down mirror. Definitely that. Alright, let's do this again then. Start increasing around here, I guess. I need more hydrogen fuel and stuff. That's a problem I'll resolve later. At some point, I'm going to have to put in a system of conveyor sorters here to push different kinds of ammo into the fighters, a few different fighters. Probably just going to single block that. I do want to put something a little bit decorative on these things. If I could get the direction right. These are so frustrating sometimes. Let's see, that will do. What system am I going to use here? I'm probably going to gut this in the end anyway. But this does have assemblers and refiners on it, if I remember correctly. If I put an inventory script, I could get it to produce all the parts for the fighter. But more likely, I'll just give it a whole bunch of large cargo containers. Whoops. And then just fill it to the brim with all the parts it needs. I'll have to do some maths on that. What else are we doing? This needs some cool hinging. I can do that later. Yeah, I guess that'll do. The engines go 2 blocks there. This looks too flat. Let's have to leave that flat for now. I can still put on a nice little something on there. It's going to need something like that as well. Not the same problem. That's going to look a bit weird if I do that. More to it. Yeah, it's going to have to stagger it. But that's going to be a weird shape. Is there a shape for that? 6-5 might do it. That does do it. I'm going to change this shape. That works though. I need an unusual block shape. One of them. Still doesn't work anyway. Oh, but I can use this. Is that going to work? No. Do I have it in Control 4? I'll bring up the lowered version. Just need the raised corner on top of a half block. That one. We can put in like a passageway, something pretty in there later. We need the same system on this side. No, we don't. Because oh, God, thrusters there. Can't do that. I don't want this to be a hard edge. We're going to need some passages. And I also need some passage frames as well, which is already right there. Not what I wanted. Let's see what I'm doing. And 4. Same here. Just going to decorate the top of this somehow. A little lazy, but that'll do. Oh, that's not going to work. So let's bring this down early. We need one of those ladder corners. I can rotate it. Come on. There we go. It's starting to look a little bit more shippy. Look at the same stuff, different day over here. Let's get a regular triangle in there. You can passage these. Yeah, thrusters coming through there. Sending in. How's this going to finish? Could do the same way actually. Let's do a gradual thingamajig. We can 5-5 here. Another one. That one. I'll probably expand this out into the factory later. I put some cooler blocks in there. These will do for the moment. For there, some frames on. Looks better. This or this. I guess I should be doing this because I don't want the flame. Actually, the flame there wouldn't reach here anyway. That'll probably be okay. What else we got? Do that and then round it out, I suppose. Is that the wrong side? No. I do have. Is my mirror mode not on? Am I not mirroring? Shame, a shame for sure, for sure. What? Did I just delete? Am I going mad? Oh, of course, I'm just constantly resetting the stupid thing. Right, rotate. Let's go back to block building mode. I'm very careful doing this. This should be fully symmetrical, but it's not affecting the bottom side. That's good. What's be done on this side? Okay, I have made that structure on the side as well. That's good. That's normal. But the frames here haven't been put in. That's why I got rid of the thing. So I couldn't see which direction they were facing, so I turned it off. I think I kept it the same way, didn't I? Let's make sure it's symmetrical. Yeah, okay, good. And this needs one of them. Okay, let's try that again. So we go 5, 6. Let's get those tips in. Wow, what you doing? There we are. The old transition doesn't work. Just put it on the bottom. It'll mirror it there. And same again here. Looking okay. What the heck's going on here? Okay, let's try and redo that a little bit. There we go. It's flowing quite nicely now. And then I can start putting structure out there. That'd be nice. I can't put beam blocks there. So I'm going to have to put it down to triangles and then start beam blocking. I'll have to do some weird beam blocks, try and get the stuff here looking good. That's for later. And this needs filling out. Oh, what am I going to do there? As it raises up. I guess I just got to leave with a harder edge, I suppose. Do something funky, but I'm going to be boring and just go straight into slanted slopes. Doesn't like have to look too pretty anyway because it's just a factory. I did the decorations on here, but then what was the point of that? This is at the back. Oh, because the back and the top are different, that's why. So you have to develop those separately, uniquely. Then this is going to have to turn into a kind of a box coming down. This is going to need, it goes a full block upwards. But it's also going to need half blocks underneath, so all that's going to be just a massive cube. It does need a lot of left-right space though, which is nice. I want to make sure I can get into the cockpit. That'd also be useful. In case anybody wanted to do that. This is all half block, but it's not necessary anymore. I could just close this down, make this thing a little bit unique. Just give it like a little indentation. Oh, I call it a fashion statement. It's not badly designed, it's not laziness, it's just fashion. There you go. And over here, this needs to be hauled up. It's gone down to this. Why has it gone down? Oh, because I need to expand this outwards because it's going to be going into a full factory mode. I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm probably going to finish this off. Just be really lazy with the way I build a factory at the front. Maybe like build windows into it or something, but I don't know. It does need a little space on the bottom. Does need space to rotate the fighter, but this is already plenty of space. That's going to have to bump out massively. But this can be generic. To get a workable shape there. There's no thrusters under here or anything stupid as that. No, it's okay. There's these thrusters, but I suppose I could get rid of them. Or maybe just leave holes for them. It's okay. Oh, whoa, 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 that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. Stop, 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 stop. This needs to be asymmetrical because that thing's over there. But as long as it's got space on the top, I can do this bit though. Everything else, ooh, that's a fun one to work with. So I have to go to that at some point. Then transition from triangle to square. That'll do. It looks kind of okay. There's some kind of flow to it, ish, sort of. Then let's turn off mirroring. In fact, I think I'm gonna go with maximum laziness. That's gonna make a generic wall. I can always do ribbing or greebling or decorating later. Let's just get something basic and functional. Speaking of unnecessary complexity, let's just do this. Why not? Just a smoother shape. What's that? It's a 6-7. And that's actually a horror block. I need this to be safe. I could do that. I'd be lazy, but it'd work. I need to go from triangle to raised triangle. That's going to be the large transition block. No, it's going to be the medium transition block. No, large. Yes, that one. This thing. Okay. Passageways, because it looks cool. Push him in. One across. There you go. Oh, get the right way going. Nothing else here. 4-4. Did engines come out there? No. This is going to be a what? Triangle to raise triangle. It's going to be a large transition block. Like that. Okay, I think that's that side done-ish. Which way is up on this thing? I'm so confused. As if I remember, the cockpit should be on the top of this side. I remember I stupidly put it upside down. Because we build it. So the cockpit's here, so this is technically the top of the ship. So it builds it downwards. It's like an underbelly down here. I'm just going to extend this real quick so I can see where I need to build. Oh, I could just leave it open maybe. How does it look? I don't need you. Your existence is meaningless to me. So that's as far down as it's going to go. Can I shorten that? I don't think I can. Let's make a little tower. Start building a little tower here and see how it goes. So I can mirror this, but I don't want to mirror left, right. I only want to mirror up and down. So I want to get rid of the blue one here. Okay, so I'm only mirroring up, down. To block placement mode. Okay, there we go. Can't be too close to here, otherwise it could clang, but I could use half blocks at this point. Saves the mass a little bit. I don't need quite so much space here. Ah, I'm doing it wrong. Am I? Go mad. What's going on with this? There has to be a 5-3. It goes flat for a while. I can push it in a bit more. That's safe. It's plenty of clearance, isn't it? That's the hard part done. It's going to match these together. Where do we go from there? I guess it's just triangle it. It's a little boring, but what goes there? Is that a hard block? No. Oh, is there a shape for that? There may not be a shape for what I want. Let's try this thing, but get it to go like that. I have a geometry problem. I just have to leave that as looking inefficient. I don't think I can go from a small thing like that all the way up to that shape. The solution to that normally is to expand this earlier. I'm doing this on one side, right? So it's fine. I have to lose a little bit of symmetry on it, but so we'll expand this earlier into. Oh, Where did that go? On the thrusters, okay. So I can't go from a small triangle to that shape, but I can go from a small triangle to a big triangle. And then the big triangle can go to that using a big transition block. All this is going to get pushed forward a bit. Oops. Actually, I should make a copy paste of this just in case something explodes. Made a good chunk from the piston, but I'm not sure why. Maybe slightly concerning. Oh, then if I do that, what am I doing here? Then I gotta rebuild this. Ah! Can I? Can I just pretend it's not here? As it was a process problem, when you want to change one thing, suddenly you got to change everything. Gonna lose all my beautiful symmetry. So then what can go in there? That would be one of these guys, I think. Does that work? Yeah. Good. Good, 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 good. Ah, thank goodness. Still kind of ugly, but it's workable, I suppose. I mean, that angle there feels far too sharp. Wait a minute. How did I put this on? Can I? Oh yeah, I did that because I wanted to horror block it, didn't I? When I say the horror block, I mean this thing is just what I call it. It used to give me so many headaches in the past. And it can be boring with this, I think. How's this going? Let's try 6.5. Gonna work it? No, has to be a slope like that, but and it's not gonna light up. I need this below to be flatter, so I can use one of these. And in there, I want. Oh no, the horror. I don't know. What I need. Do I have it in storage? It's this one, I think. No, it's too big. Maybe it's 8. Kind of clumsy, but I'll take it. I'll try and smooth this out at some point. Maybe make a new pattern across there. That's a problem for later. Yeah. Which one of these do I need? This thing again? Do you know I can slide that down further? It's a little bit more graceful at least. Okay, that's the hard part done. The rest is just basic shapes. Is correct. Yes. A little more slant on that. Make things interesting when we get to the front. And how to resolve that? Same way, I guess. not you. Come on, which one? This one. There we go. We'll probably slide that down so it comes into line with this as well. Pretty ugly, but then I guess it is like a factory ship. I could curve this around a bit. Let's make a smaller doorway there. I wonder if the ship could fit through a double gateway of some kind. Maybe we could expand these and do that. It's probably too big to fit through, but I can take a look at least. What am I doing? This gate. Get the frostbite gate up. Let's see how that goes. Technically, I could do that. And then have the other raising and lowering gate doors. What do they call them? Barriers? Door? It's kind of door. Hangar door, that's what they call it. The one with the window, I like the one with the window. That doesn't fit into the middle. The symmetry, or lack of thereof. I could do that. Would that work? Doesn't like it. So where are you going? You are up. One block up. Just lets me a little bit like asymmetrical-ish. But I could do that. Naval place warfare. Hang on, I should be able to. Oh, because that is there. But if I push this forward one block, then I could. Get the gate again. Whoops. Oh, not that in here. Whoa. Another question is, would the fighter fit through that gate? I guess there's one way to find out. That's kind of cool-ish, isn't it? And just smooth out the edges here. Might be cool. Actually, before I do anything stupid, let's copy and paste. Let's just do a quick look with the actual thing. The actual fighter, see if it can fit through the doors or not. Let's take a... not too bad. Oh. It might go through. If I get doors in this, I'd be really happy with that. That'd be really cool. But the probability of clonking is quite high. I'll have to experiment, see how that works. Can make a quick group for those doors. I just realized this cockpit is actually upside down relative to the actual flight cockpit. I guess I could always just get rid of the flight cockpit and just use this one for everything. What are these? Factory doors. I use caps lock to change the paint, and so sometimes my caps lock switches around. That's why I keep typing with lowercase and then capitals afterwards. And you guys do the opposite of whatever you're doing. No. Groups, door groups. You open, close. Well, you're opening, but you're not. What's wrong with the gates? door, factory doors, offset. Oh, of course. Okay, you guys should be closed. Let's close you guys. That's what I want. Factory doors. Okay, I can't do with. I gotta match search for it manually. Factory doors. Oh, what I want. G gate. You a new save. I just want to double check the offset doors aren't part of the group. Okay, yeah, they are. Let's get rid of them. So now if I do one open, 3 closed, that's wrong. So tell them to open manually. Close manually rather. Close sesame. Alright. That's nice. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Open all doors. Breep, breep, breep. Oh, almost done. Now, will the fighter through the door? The ultimate question. I got a feeling like looking at it, I think it will. Just gonna quickly make a copy of this factory ship. Get a nice cinematic view. Oh, what's wrong? The piston didn't go up. The piston can't go up. But why? But why? But why? But why? Curious and curious. What's blocked it? And of course it worked properly before. No, stop, stop. Guess we can extend all the way up. I mean, nothing's changed with the actual system itself. The problem was that the piston couldn't go up. I might just run that again and watch it a little more carefully. These are the reserve systems I can check out later. But I can't think of it. I just want to get some light in here. Okay. And I can see what I'm doing, see what's going on. Let's try that again. Ah, the pistons. Ah, because I raised the pistons beforehand. Now I know what's going on. Can I stop you? Too late. I can stop you though. It should eventually reset. Okay, I just need to reverse this thing again. I know what the problem is. So I pushed the piston up so I could see the ceiling. So the piston was in the opposite position of what it should be to start. Oh god, what have I done? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, I should have a copy in here. Yes. I've got a copy in my RAM, my clipboard. Okay, so the problem was this was up when it was starting. That's supposed to be down when it starts. So let's just reverse this quick. I'm getting quite a lag, not sure where from. There shouldn't be too much going on. Okay, this should be fixed now. Alright. Second tent, but there's no lights on. Oh well. Do that while I wait, maybe. Oh, spin, spin, spin. Oh, it's spinning to get these lights sorted. Looks like it's gonna bump. Because it's turned sideways, I think it's gonna bump. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oof. 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 Design failure. Okay, I can't bring this in so early. Okay, then we got to redesign the roof. At the very least. Let's copy this. I don't know if there's any bump damage on that one. But did it get out? No, it didn't. It crashed. I deleted it, didn't it? Don't think it got out. Can't remember. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, because I copy-pasted it when it's halfway through the production process. Click these quick. Oh, it's bumping on the door. The door needs to be further forward as well. It seems it can't escape anyway. It can't escape sideways. But I feel like... I mean, this is just pure vanity and aesthetics and decoration. I could just have an open door in the front, but... Let's just get one of these things. Let's see if I can just fly this thing. Actually, just... Where are you going, bar? Right. Come back here. Let's go here. Where's your thrusters? Is it possible this to fit inside? Bit of a tight... No, it can't. It can't. Which means we're going to make a door. It's going to have to be a hinge door or a piston door. We can't use the pre-built stuff, which is sad. So I have to leave it open front, I suppose. Let's just reverse you for a moment so I can check how that goes. So it needs that much space at the front. I'll have to leave it boxy and ugly. So I have to extend the armor forward to match up with that, I suppose. It's kind of hideous. Let's extend this up. Oh, this doesn't cut anything off. Let's also copy this before I make a bigger mistake. It's looking a little bit smoother as well. It's going to require an interesting block of some kind. One of them, maybe? Yep. Then, oh, do I need a square corner? I almost never use those. Actually, no, I don't, because I already got his name. Let's use this. Put a block behind it. I don't need a square corner. Just do that. This band is going to extend forward until... What's that? 5-5? That'll do, right? And ooh, flat triangle to full square. Can I do that? I think I can. Remember, use the big transition block sideways. You can do that. Yeah. Just looking at a squiffy along here. I can't shorten this too much. I can. What is that? Is that a flight cap? It's just a bullet hole. Never mind. I don't like using square corners. I suppose it makes sense there. Makes it a little smoother. Means you can get some more coming out in here. Whatever, that'll do. That'll do. Except these corners, those are far too ugly. I need some kind of basic rounding out. And double stack that. I think needed here, right? Let's continue the pattern. I guess to the bottom. I think it looks slightly smoother now, at least. Only semi-horrific. Oh, whatever. Leave it. Oh. How to progress that? I guess I could just do that target. I almost never use this block. It's probably the first time I've actually used this thing. If I can find it. There is like a triangle thing, yeah, that. Does it not fit? It does. Go a little brutalisk. Especially that corner, look at that. Is there any way I can extend that, make that flatter? I don't really think so. Actually, I can. I could smooth that out by continuing the curve up here, I think. Maybe if I put a square corner on that. I don't have one pre-signed though. A square corner, it's one of these, that one. It's not too ugly. Put in some ribbing, it'll be fine. There we go, got a factory ship. So, this is actually almost complete and usable, at least for projecting a rocket fighter. I wish I put the instructions, like slap them on the side. I can just like stick it here randomly, I guess. shoot here for rocket fighter. It's going to need an LCD. It's going to need the battery to be shot. Let's make it pretty. It's easy to find. But, you know, I don't use the LCD blocks, that's DLC. And LCD screen. Doesn't need to be on green. Oh, what have I done? I got a bit of color. Okay, my defaults. This. Oh, I wasn't using. What did I put it down to? Was it 20% I did before? Something really dark. I can't remember. What color is this? I was using war torn. Press control, it doesn't change. Okay, this is the exact same color. LCD screen. Let's get some nice. What am I setting up? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Content. Text. Edit text. Shoot to build. Shoot to build what? Rocket fighter. Endless mode. Shoot to build. One rocket fighter every 60 seconds. I don't actually know what that number is, but I'll put that there as a placeholder. Where's that? Let's give it better coloring. Light green. This is 40. How's that? It's a little bit too bright. Put more blue in. Wow, that's quite atrocious. Maybe it was ready to add more. So I think I just turned this down. Yeah, it looks less glaring at least. Alignment, center, let's get the text a bit bigger. Font size, big enough. There, let's push it down. Text padding. And then I got instructions. Shoot to build one rocket fighter every 60 seconds. Then I need an event block. I should have that in my thing already set up. Oh, I don't. I usually have this set as one of these things, so I don't need a remote thing. Okay. Event block integrity. Block integrity is equal or less than 99.5%. Excuse me. So if this takes any damage, this will activate. What does it do? It will find the REBF.1 start timer block, and it will trigger now. So let's test that system very briefly. Let's do a copy of this. Let's get a working copy somewhere else. Oh, whoops, it's replicated both sides because it has the mirroring on. That was stupid, foolish of me. Mirror mode off, and we don't need it on this side. It's dark here, can't see what I'm doing. Oh, my game's getting laggy. I'm trying to delete some of the older versions. The more deprecated copies. I think that is. I don't think that is. Did I just delete my final version? I hope not. Could also be lagging because some of the fighters would escape and they would be like flying around and attacking the base over there. It's battery set up. Oh, I didn't tell it which battery. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a name? I have a name. Shoot me battery. would be useful. Block integrity equal less than threshold 95%, but which block? Search available blocks. S, shoot me battery. Add block. Okay, so if that battery gets shot, this activates. And then it will activate the start timer block, which will begin this whole process. And anything else? I should also add, I'll just do one quick test run first. Let's do that. Wait, what's happening? Ah, I set the stupid. No, 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 no. No, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Did I copy and paste this after I did that? I don't think I did. What's your name? Do I have to do this again? Shoot me battery. And you're set to and you are set to shoot me battery. Block integrity less than 99%. Okay. Another copy before I inevitably ruin everything. Okay. All right, test number 2. Oh, before I do that, let's fix the problem. Because I pushed this, I did the same thing as before. I pushed the hinge up so I could check my clearance up there. I need to return this back to its default starting position. So I want reverse. There we go. Okay. And this one also has its hinge up, so let's delete that. Get my backup storage copy. And go. So good so far. Oop, ignore that. Round and round it goes. And hinge goes up. And fighter launches. Off it goes to attack the enemy. Okay. This whole process works. Now I need to add one more. Is fully reset? Yes. Now with the start timer block, I wanted to turn off that event block so the player can't set the production process to start a second time when it's halfway through. That'd be terrible. So let's go find our start timer block. And you need to turn off the event block. So we will receive repeated commands. Then we want to go to the, what's the last thing it does? The last thing is hinge up timer block. You then do the fighter launch timer block. Okay. You then do timer block 5. So I'm going to go through my logic here for a moment. So timer block 5. You then activate timer block 6 start. That's factory launch timer block 3 trigger now. Okay, so you launch the ship. And then you do, then after the ship launches, This timer block 6 is the finish. I don't know why it's called start. So you reset everything. The fight is already launched. It's far away. How long does it take you? How long does it take everything to reset? 15 seconds for the spin is the slowest action, I think. So we're going to need one more timer block. Well, let's sign this thing first. Timer 7. Do you have a name? No, good. And I want you to start. I need to rename this block. It's got a really strange name. Timer block 6. Factory reset timer block. That makes sense. Timer block 5. Launch thing. Start timer block. I'm going completely mad. I've messed up my you. What do you do? Oh, of course, start isn't the name of the block. Start's the name of the action it's doing to the block. Okay, now I understand. Complete brain fuddle. Okay, that is completely correct. Okay. So in 6 activates time block 7. Didn't I rename that as the reset block? Time block 6. Factory. Oh, it says that, but I hover over it. The highlight gives me a different name. That's really disorientating. There's going to need at least 15 seconds to fully reset, to unrotate the fighter. So after 15 seconds, set up actions. No, this is the reset block. Timer 7. I want to look at. This resets everything. Everything starts resetting. Oh, what was this set to? Fighter locked. I can just put it at 5 seconds. It should be enough time for the fighter to escape. What else have we got? Next is time block 7. So that's reset the factory. This is the restart block. And after 15 seconds, it finishes rotating back to the start. And then what does it do? We find the true start block. Trigger now. So now it should build infinitely. What are you doing? Why you do this to me? So let's test it then. Is on or off at the moment? On, okay. Let's shoot that. That's now turned off, that's correct. Oof, quite a bit of lag from that. Wonder how many of these factories I could run before my computer crashes. There we go, spin, spin, spin. and launch. Once that goes out, it should reset. Always have a new world for this. Running so clunkily with this stream and also all the ships around. And the very second that rotates to the top, it should restart and just build fighters endlessly. I think that's it. Other than prettifying the ship, which I can do later, it's fully functional. With those battery and things, I should make them face towards the back. And there it goes. Let's see, delete this guy. I believe this is the finished version. Let's super check that. Reset timer, all going good. So how many seconds is it to build? Let's see, you shoot at it, and then what will the timers come up to in sum? Let's go find it, go from process. So start happens. I'll expand this so you can see the two. It happens instantly. There's block 2. So it's 4 seconds to build the spine. Then 15 seconds. 5 seconds to build the spine. 4 seconds to build, let's say 5. 5 seconds to build the spine. 10 to raise the pistons. And 15 for the rotation, that's 30 seconds. Then the hinge, wow, it's a full 15 as well, so it's 45 seconds. Then it's 10-ish. It's 50 seconds, kind of. It's 6 seconds to raise the hinges or something. Oh, I'm getting totally lost in my head. 5 seconds to build the spine. 10 seconds for pistons to go up. 15 seconds to rotate. Then 5 seconds-ish for the hinge to go up. Then 5 seconds, that's 50. And 5 seconds for the ship to go out, that's 55. Then 15 seconds to reset. So that's 70 seconds in aggregate. So let's just correct the writing on here. This mode, shoot to build 1 rocket fighter every 70 seconds. Okay, and that's it for now. It's very ugly, but this will work. It'll work. So just cut off a lot of that, make that a lot prettier. Oh well. Shipcore Medium 1, that's the name of this thing. Let's see. REBF Factory Assault Factory. Assault Fighter Factory. I guess factory should be the last thing because that's the actual noun. An assault fighter describes the factory, I suppose. .1. Maybe do a little bit of cleaning on that. In fact, I'll do that now, actually. It looks a little bit less horrendous. I think it's all non-DLC as well. REBF Assault Fighter Factory .1. Can I copy that? Yes, replace. So all that remains is to load up a fresh copy of REBF. I'll be able to copy paste some of those, 2 or 3 of those factories in. And then we'll have to give it a go. Maybe I'll do that now quickly. It would mean reloading the game. I'll pause it there. If anybody wants me to, just ask me to, and I'll go put the blueprint for the factory on the workshop. Or you can wait for me to update the REBF game. Then just download REBF, REBF off the Steam Workshop. And then you just go into the game, you can go find it and just copy paste it yourself or modify it as you like. Anyway, I think that's all we have for today's stream. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys appreciated it. I'll be streaming again probably next Saturday, and I'll also be updating things. So please do check out my new how to build a torpedo tutorial. I have that on Ryaz on YouTube. And also please do check out our REBF. And that's all for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Let's check quickly in chat. Nothing. A lot of viewers, but I don't know how many are bots. Oh well. I'm sure I'll find out in time. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.